So you were born in Peoria.
Uh,
So what's the earliest memory of your childhood in Peoria? I think way back, what's the earliest memory you have?
um, well, I used to live with my grandmother. Well, my grandmother, my dad, my other grandmother, my little brother, me, and my grandpa. And I remember sitting on my grandpa's lap. Cause I don't know, we just always, me and my grandpa just always connected. Nobody could separate us. But I remember him telling me, why? he said, why are you spitting, little boy? Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, I was little. And I don't know why I remember this. I was little. He told me, why are you spitting, little boy? Yeah, get that pacifier. I was still like sucking on the pacifier. Like, I remember him taking it out of my mouth. And then my mom, she would be mad because I was older. And you know, it messes up your teeth if you suck on it for so long. And she would get so mad at my grandpa. Why are you still letting him? Because she would be at work and she'd come pick me up from my grandpa herself. But man, that's where I really grew up at, with my grandparents. But she came in all mad. Oh, and then he tried to hide it. He got up and he tried to hide it in the refrigerator. He hid it in the refrigerator behind I don't know what it was. And I was watching. I got up and I was watching him running around. My mom come in. She's like, I know you had I know you had him on that pacifier, Ernest. He's crying again. Because I was going to the refrigerator. I remember. I don't know how I remember this. I was just so young. And I remember her taking it out and then picking me up and then taking it out and we left. And then we stayed in it wasn't Glenbrook. It was, I don't know what apartments it was. I don't know, but it was off University in Knoxville. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's in Peoria. And we just went home. I just fell asleep, and that's probably the earliest. And after that, I just got older. That's it.
So what was your childhood like when you were growing up?
Like between because I moved around, like when I was probably like 10, I moved back in with my mother. But until then, like before that, I was with my grandparents. And it was different lifestyles. Some things I could do, some things I couldn't.
Like, how was it different? Do you remember any examples?
They were they protected me from what they thought was everything was dangerous. You couldn't go, like, I couldn't leave off the block. Like, I'm 10 years old. Like, I'm 10, but I have friends that's like live like literally across the street or down the street. Like, I couldn't really do anything. Like, I couldn't leave the block, ride my bike, turn around, and like it's just the same thing every day.
Do you have brothers and sisters when you were still living in Peoria?
I have two stepsisters, and I have three brothers. One lives in North Carolina, and one lives with me, and then Bryson, he lives in Peoria. My other two sisters live in Peoria too, though.
So did you and your brothers and sisters get along?
Yeah, we all get along. We all. It's never like sometimes it's, you know, brother and sister, brother, it's fighting a little bit, but we all get along pretty much. There's no, like, because I know some people, like, they really fall out with their siblings over, like, little petty stuff. Nah, we don't do that. We're all family.
Where were you in the ranking?
Well, my sister, I guess she said she's older than me, but it's only about a couple months, about like 3 months. But I guess I'm the second oldest. Yeah.
So when you were growing up in the house, did you have responsibilities you each had to do? Like someone had to take the garbage out and someone had to do,
With my grandparents?
well, either one. The grandparents?
When I moved with my mom, it was a transition. She's the one that really molded me into the person I am now. And me and my brother, we moved in with her, and then she made us, like, doing dishes. Huh? Taking out the garbage, like, that was like, man. And looking back on it, like, we would be so mad, and the things that she would make us do, like clean inside out the bathroom, like the walls, like, cause we didn't do anything. She had to catch us up on that. She had to catch us up, and she did it, and we would just be so mad, like, man, like why? Because we're not used to this. So I think I would be in the kitchen, and my brother would do the bathroom. We both take out the garbage, and then next week, transition. You do the opposite, you do the opposite, and then we just kept on doing it, and that's how we grew up.
So when you look back now at what she made you do you look at it in a whole different way?
Yeah, cause now, like, the garbage, like if you see it, like, you take out the garbage. If you see the dishes need to be washed, you wash the dishes. You do it. You don't just sit around. We don't believe in that. You don't sit around and do nothing. You have to move, and you're going to move. You're going to be productive every day.
So she played a big part in making you who you are, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
You proud of her?
Yeah. I'm very proud. She makes a lot happen.
Do you have any family traditions when you were living, or either you're in Peoria or, back in Rockford, were the things that you did, like special things for holidays, birthdays, whatever, stuff like that?
Not really. It was just like Christmas. I had a few uncles and aunties around there, but in Peoria, I really don't have, on my dad's side, a lot of family because my dad is the only child. And then my auntie, she didn't have any kids. My grandmother, she had one kid, which is my dad. My great-great-grandmother had 2 kids, which is my auntie that didn't have no kids, and my grandmother that had 1. So it didn't really go farther than that. So we all stayed together during Christmas time. We go visit our uncles or whatever, our great uncles. My grandpa had passed, his brothers, and then that was really it. We just go visit them, and then because we didn't really have anybody there, so we just stayed to ourselves. Until I got to Rockford, on my family, it was just so fun. Some people like, I can't believe some people like grew up to this, like they're so used to this, and it's like I love being with my family. I love it.
I know you mentioned your grandparents. Talk a little more about your grandparents, because obviously they had an impact on you, and you seem to talk about your one grandfather and stuff. So what were they like?
My grandfather died when I think I was 8. So I think it was 8. And I had moved, my dad, he had got a house across the street from my grandmother's house that I grew up in. And I would be able to I never stayed there. I would always leave late, and I asked my dad, can I please go to grandma's house? Can I please go to grandma's house? I just walked across the street. One time I just went over there in my underwear. I just left the house and I just went over there. But they were so sweet. And everything that you asked for, they tried to make it happen. Whatever you asked for, especially my grandma, whatever you asked for, she tried to make it happen. And it was nothing but love. My grandfather, nothing but love. He could get a little upset sometimes. Upset if you didn't listen to the right thing that he knew was the right thing, and you didn't do it. It was just obvious, common sense. Then that's really the only thing he'd get about on you. But anything else than that, they were the best grandparents I could ever have. Just so sweet. Man, I gotta go see my grandma. I really do.
Are any of them still alive?
My grandma, yeah, she's 76 now.
What's she like?
Since she's got older, she lost her hearing on, I think, this side all the way, and then she lost half her hearing on the left side. So when you come, you have to yell almost, and it's the conversation is it's hard because some things you could be in the middle of a conversation and she'd be like, huh? And then it's questions she asks me, oh, you been going to church? You still been going to church? And I tell her, no, I haven't been to church in a minute. I haven't been there. She's like, you need to go. You better go, Christopher. You better go. Or CJ, that's they always call me Christopher. Michael Hodge, Jr. I'm a junior. CJ, you better be going to church. You better be going to church. I always tell her, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna come back. We're gonna go. I'm gonna take you to church. So she's still holding up, positive, very positive woman, encouraging too, whatever you do.
Does she live in Rockford?
Now she lives in Peoria.
So you don't see her that often?
Not really.
Do you keep in touch with her?
Yeah, always. And my grandmother, which is my dad's mom, she lives with her as well. So when I go there, I visit both of them, and she takes care of her. So my brother lives with them.
Describe your mom in 2 sentences.
2 sentences. My mom is the greatest woman I've ever met. She is the smartest woman I've ever met. That's 1 sentence. My mom is the definition of strong, and she's willing. That's it.
Give me an example of why you say she's strong.
Because she's been through a lot, especially with me, her brother's family. She's been through a lot, and the way she grew up, and how she molded us into something different that she didn't know about when she was growing up. And so that is amazing. That is amazing, and it's a great transition. And I love it. I love her for it.
She'd like to hear that. Do you tell her that?
Yeah. We have a real strong relationship, so we really talk a lot.
Did she have a tough life when she was growing up?
Yeah. Yeah.
What things she had to go through?
It wasn't that. It was like you would think most African American kids back then were poor, or it wasn't that. It was just some people weren't there for her throughout her life, and some people didn't just support where she wanted. And I believe if she had the support system, my mom would be a teacher right now. I guarantee you she would be teaching right now. And I would have been into the teaching stuff. I would have been into the programs, all of that. And I would have been so much more ready. But minor fallback is transitioning to a major comeback. So I guess I'm finishing it off.
Can you remember one thing that really sticks out in your childhood?
Well, since I play basketball, me and my brother, when we were growing up with my grandparents, we would always go down to my friend name was Eric. Eric, that's all I remember about Eric. And he had a mohawk, and he looked just like my brother. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And I met his parents, I'm like, wow. I remember me and my brother just playing basketball. We always, every day, because we didn't do nothing else. Couldn't do nothing else. Like, we couldn't leave the block. And his house was right there at the end of the block. So we went as far as we could. He had a rim in the alley, because all the houses were set up, and it was an alley. And they used to race. We called Lonnie next door, my grandmother's friend. They used to race cars. They used to just nice cars, just race them down. I guess see how fast they could go. And they had their own little, like, I don't know if it's not even racing, but I guess around the city, I guess everyone would bring their cars out. You could really race on a racetrack and win money for it. And I remember I was in a car one time, and they were racing. I was in the car, and I was like, and we were going real fast. I don't know what kind of car it was. I think it was an old Mustang, one of the old Mustangs. Like first, I don't know, the ones that look like the longer versions. I was racing them. My grandma yelled out there, CJ, you better get out that car right now. Where's Bryce? Where's your little brother at? Because my brother is 3 years younger than me. Mind you, I didn't move out then when I was 10. So I'm probably about 8 years old. So my brother's like 5. And they just racing. I see my brother. He tried to walk out. He tried to turn. I was like, oh my God! Like it flashed from. I thought my brother got hit. I'm out the car. I'm like, oh my God! Oh my. I look out. He like this. He just sitting right there. He like, can I go next? Man, that was just funny. That was funny.
What thing has had the greatest impact on making Chris Chris?
Who?
Who or what? You decide.
Um, I would say both who and what. Who? My mother. What? The transition of moving to Rockford from Peoria. It was hard making new friends, but staying to myself was, I couldn't let nobody like get too close to me because I was scared. I didn't know. I heard about like the city, like it's like high crime rate, whatever, but like I wasn't worried about that because like Peoria is kind of rough there. Like I think in 2014 it was like the #1 worst place for African Americans to live, and we didn't know this. We didn't know this, so they're not telling us this. So me moving to Rockford, like they're so sleep on opportunities like this, like teaching thing, like man, like they're giving away I wouldn't say scholarships, but they're giving away free school. Not free school, but fairly, you don't have to pay, 75%? What are they taking away, 75%? And that's what really, I opened my eyes, like, dang, like, I need to step up my game. I need to get into something. I moved here for a reason, for a new start, and that's what I'm about to do. And that transition just instantly. My counselor got me to this teaching thing. Remember Mr. Nolan? Pew, shot to the top. Like I'm a rocket. And now I'm about to go to teaching, man. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Can't wait to end this school year.
How do you describe yourself? What kind of person are you?
I think I'm very caring. I'm nice at moments, but I'm very blunt and straightforward. And I'm just myself. No one can take me out of my character. And that's how I would describe myself, that's all. No one, I'm just me.
What are you passionate about?
Number one thing I'm passionate about, or are you just teaching?
What's brought you to that point that you kind of realize, this is really what I want to do?
Like the event that happened was the visit to the school. Well, me and Mr. Nolan, I guess, we have a good relationship, but he took us on a field trip to Johnson Elementary. And then we met the kids, and the first time, it's like we all had our own kids to work to observe. We observed the classroom too. And it's like everyone had their own kids you're supposed to worry about, right? Remember this. Now, I'm reading with my kid. We're just like, everyone's doing their own thing, and everyone wants to like read with me. Everyone, oh my God, I just feel so loved. It's like this. All these little kids. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. And I'm good at this. Like they're staying focused. Like they're listening, and I'm like, I have a group of students like around the table, and I feel like I can see myself. I could just see myself like, yeah, that's all I want to do. This is what I want to do. I feel like this opportunity was given to me for a reason. Definitely.
Life is funny that way.
Yeah.
It's happened for a reason.
And it's crazy, man. I always say that it's crazy.
most proud of so far in your life? What's the one thing or something that you're most proud of that you've done?
I can't say I'm proud of something that I'm supposed to be doing. Like it's hard, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm just being so humble, which I am. I am humble with myself, but I just feel like some people say, "Oh yeah, graduating high school, like you're supposed to do that." Like some people don't get through it, but I feel like you're supposed to push yourself. You're supposed to do that, and like the accomplishment, I would say, getting into the teaching program, I wouldn't say that either because I'm supposed to be doing this. If she put me into this class and I like this, that's something I'm supposed to be doing. So I probably won't be satisfied until I really reach these kids' hearts and these minds, and I change lives. That's what I'll be proud of. Until then, I'm gonna keep working. I'm not yet.
Where did that perspective or outlook you just talked about, you say you're supposed to graduate high school, and so where did that come from, that you see that that's just the way it's supposed to be, the things you described?
Because like, it was at a point where we couldn't even go to school. We couldn't be taught this education, and it's like they're giving it away free. They're giving it away free now, and y'all just like I get some people are in situations where it's like you can't focus in school. You can't make it to school. You can't learn in school because you're not there, and people don't see it's a life outside of school, and that life around you that's you, and that can affect you in school. But for the people who have a stable living, and then you come to school and I just see you don't want to learn, you're laughing in class. Like, I get it if you didn't get no sleep because your parents are fighting or you're working all the time to pay bills, to help the family out. No, you're going home and you're playing the game, or you know what I'm saying? And you come to school and you want to play around, but they give you free education that we couldn't have before. But I don't think people think about that. Like, free, they're giving away free education to you, and you're not gonna, which you couldn't have a couple years ago. This is not that long ago. And you telling me you're not gonna take advantage? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Not at all.
Name a person who was a hero to you and why.
Miss Giovanni, my counselor, that put me into this program. Her, everything about her, man. Like, she's nice, but man, if you see you doing the wrong thing, she will not play with you. She's not gonna play. And she gets it. And she gets exactly where I'm coming from. That's why me and her, we had talks about it. And before she left our school to go count, I guess she went to an elementary school. I don't know what school it is here, Byron, I don't know. But before she left, we just had a talk, and then like, she cried. Like, it was so much love, because like everybody knew, like, Ms. Giovanni, like she really cared about you, and you could tell. Other counselors, like, I'm not throwing shots at my counselor now, but it's like, you have to realize some people are just here for the money. Some people are just here just to tell you, here your schedule. You come to them with a problem, with a serious problem. They want to sugarcoat it or make it, or powder it down, or like they don't want to give you a solution. They just, oh man, we're just gonna have to go back to class. Just try a little harder, man. What? This is real. Like, these are real life problems. Are you telling me, like, what? And then his teacher's like, Mr. Nolan, like, man, like, he cares. And it's like, that's rare. You don't find that. You don't at all. And I see it, and I see teachers that's just here. Book, worksheet, there you go. Sit back, just like this. Man, Ms. Giovanni, man, that's who, hero for me.
So what's the one characteristic that Mr. Noland and your counselor seem to have in common?
They care. They actually care, and they show it. Some people, now some teachers could care. I'm not saying they could care, but you have to show that. Like, we're teenagers, we're children, early childhood. You have to show that. We can't just you're not telling us anything. You might tell us, oh yeah, we really do care about you guys, but what are you doing? What are you doing to show this? And then you guys get upset when we're not, when certain students aren't obedient to your process, then it's a problem. Now you wanna start talking. Now you wanna act like it. You wanna act like it because they're disobeying the process for you of your learning. So I mean, like, man, care, and that's all you gotta do, man. Show a little love. That's all. It's not really that hard, man. We're all people. It's not that hard.
There's a great saying that no one seems to know who it's attributed to. It's always just said anonymous. That students don't care how much you know, talking about teachers, until they know how much you care.
That's true. That's true. We don't. We need to know that you're 100% with us. That you're gonna always, like, teachers, like, I don't think they know the role that they play. Like, we spend 8 hours a day with you, right? We have the summer off, okay, spring breaks, but most of the time we grow up. Like, these are basically parents. These are our parents, like, and that's how some kids look at school, like, because they don't have their parents at home, and they come and they see that you care, and that's man. I'm telling you, it could be so much more greatness happening if everyone just played their role, played along, and show a little love, man. That's all. I know I sound like a little hippie or something, but that's all, man. Just show that you care, and I guarantee you, those kids, you're gonna see a great impact. Kids that sleep, they're gonna look at it a whole different way.
But the caring also extends to understanding why you might be sleeping.
Yeah.
Because of what you said earlier, that maybe their home life is impacting them so much that they didn't get to go to sleep that night.
Mm-hmm.
And
so you have to understand, like Mr. Noland, he did, and that's what he talks about. The exact thing you just said, he talked about it with us. He said the exact same thing, and he makes sure that he's on top of that. He beforehand, say I'm sleeping in class, and there's a certain teacher that doesn't wake up. You go to sleep again, I'm sending you to the office. There's no one, hey, what's wrong, buddy? He's gonna talk to you, he's gonna actually know. But if you don't have, like, if it's not a valid reason, you need to wake up. You need to educate yourself. There's no excuses no. If it's not really serious, there's people out here with real problems that don't have parents. So you need to take advantage of that.
So what is it about teaching that has obviously gotten to you?
What is it? I mean,
what is it that has hooked you?
Children. They're the future. So why not? If they're the future, why not make the future the best future? Why not make it great? If you're knowing that these children, everyone goes to school. You have to be educated. And you see you see what's going on in the world, and that's what I want to make a difference. That's what's pushing me. It's not anything else. I need to touch these kids. I need to get to these kids' minds, because it's a lot of them, they're misled, like, and it's crazy, and it's so crazy, man. All you gotta do is have that one teacher, and I swear, man, it'll change your whole mindset. And you'll just go through life positive.
If African American students, especially males, have just one African American teacher in either grades 3, 4, or 5, just one teacher for that 1 year, you don't have to have multiple ones, the chances of them graduating increase by 30%, and the chances of them
It's no surprise.
going to college increase by like 40%. That's the impact, like you said, that one person like you can have on other people.
And it's no surprise, because I feel like you understand, we come from, it's certain perspectives that you look at, like you could say, like, you can relate, and it's like, oh my God, you look like me, I can do this, I can really do this, what? You be looking like, man, okay, cool, like, and it makes a positive impact, and it's like, once that clicks, I'm telling you, up here, changes, flips, inside out, backwards, all that.
Up to this point in your educational career, how many African American teachers have you had?
I have to really think about this. Seventh grade year. Matter of fact, 6th grade year, Mr. Bullips. It was in a cooking class though. It was a cooking class. Like, it was in Peoria, and it was called Sterling Middle School. Mr. Bullips. And then my 8th grade year, I went to Von Steuben. I had switched schools. And it was Mr. Patterson. And it's crazy. It wasn't a cooking class. We sometimes cooked in there, but we were mostly on computers, like learning about like people. And then I don't know how we got into cooking, but him, and then 9th grade, I don't think so. I think those two. And I think I met one African American teacher in East, but I didn't have him. I talked to him a little bit, but I didn't have a class with him. I didn't know what he taught. So, and I think he left, and I've never seen him again.
So why is it, do you think, that there are so few black teachers?
It's just not a thing. First, it's not, like, we don't think about, like, nobody thinks about it, because it's not advertised. I can say that's one, it's not advertised, but it's just something we don't go for. Then you hear about the pay grade, something people always complain about. It's a pay grade, like, they don't get paid hardly nothing, but it's like, do you know what greatness, like, y'all, like, I think teachers should be paid at least between, like, at least probably like 70 to 100,000 a year. I think that's what it should, because they make a great impact, man. You're with them, like I said, 8 hours a day. They mold your kids. They grow up with your kids. And it's like, I can always, like, just like my kindergarten teacher, I can remember her right now, the things that she taught me. Miss Lipsky, I can remember her right now. And you telling me right now that these teachers are getting paid what they get paid. Some teachers can't even, like, can't do certain things with their children because of these children that they're taking care of at school. If they really care about them, that's the difference. If they really care about them, then if you really care about the children, it will make an impact in your home, and you will. But you got to find out the balance. It's all about balance. You got to find that balance, and I think that's the main reason why we don't really go for teaching, because nobody really like, you don't see that a lot. You see 1 or 2 black teachers. It's like I've been in school for what, 12 years, 2 black teachers, all the class I had. So what makes me wanna do that?
So how could we change that?
I don't have that power, but all I can say is just advertisement. That's all you guys gotta, it's nothing. Or these classes that they have now, intro to teaching, don't put them on the bottom of the schedule list. Like who's gonna, like, don't put it right there at the bottom. That's what I noticed. Like, that's at the bottom, child development. You have to take that class, but that's at the bottom too. Like, if you're really serious about needing teachers, act like it. Act like it. Like, come on, man. Like, then maybe people will really look at it. Okay, cool. Or make an announcement, or you guys have the power to do so much more. And if you need this, you all have voices, right? Exactly. That's all you need is a voice, and a couple people to spread it out. That's really advertisement.
Why is it important that we have teachers of color in front of students, and not for all students of all colors? So I'm saying, not just being in front of African American students, but also in front of white students and Hispanic students. Why is it important that we have teachers like that in front of all the other students? What do you bring to the table that people need to see?
I can do it. Like, I can do it, so you can do it. It's not really like, it's not really, people make it harder than it is. If I see you, like, and people think you have to be, and I guarantee, I thought like these have to be the smartest men, like the smartest black men, like people. That's how we really think. That's how we think. Man, they're teaching, man. What do they have to go through? And then you hear about the pay grade. It's like, oh, man, they had to go through something. They had to go through something, man. They had to do something outrageous. And it's like, now that we need that. We need that. I can do it. You can do it.
What's one thing you wish your teachers knew about you?
I'm more probably school-wise, I get good grades. I'm mellowed out, but I wish most teachers knew that, like, it's more than just X plus B equals ME. It's more than just that. Like, I know way more than just that. And it's like, all you guys hear is, I guess, you guys hear nonsense through the school, but you really need to, like, pay attention. It's kids out here, and I'm just not just me. I know what you're saying, not just me, but it's kids out here that know way more. And like you said, I'm more wiser than my age, right? I know way more than most kids know about certain things, and I wish they knew that. And we could have a conversation, and like it could go, the knowledge you have, I could have now. And now that I'm teaching those children, I got your knowledge behind me, your knowledge. And now what? These kids are great. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah.
Yeah, I do. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
16, 26. I would say teaching here in Rockford. I would. But but I will be teaching still. I will be teaching, but it might not always be in Rockford. I will come back and I will teach for X amount of years. I will, and that's a guaranteed. But I know this is my city. This is where I'm growing up right now. But I have to reach other places. You see what I'm saying? I have to move around. I have to reach other kids' minds. I just can't just. I get it's a Rockford thing. You want to come back and teach the community, but there's other places that's real messed up that you have to think about too. It's a country. It's a world.